Hey everybody and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to walk you through the basics of creating some kind of a mobile app or website without coding using Appgyver's free community edition, or I should say SAP Build Apps. Now this is going to play audio by a URL. So the idea here is you could paste in a URL and click play and then it'll play the audio. Now let's go ahead and walk through the basics. So a couple of things. First and foremost, this is for informational purposes only. Make sure that you have the rights to whatever audio content you're sharing or things of that nature. So basically don't illegally share music, content, etc. Now, in this case, I pulled an audio clip from Pixabay. You can check out their licensing information from the website, but you can see they have tons of royalty-free content. So we have the SAP Build Apps platform just previewing our app here. So all I've started with so far down here is completely irrelevant. This is actually content from a previous video, which I'll link in the description, which walks through how to use the new SAP Build Apps, formerly Appgyver, basically use the new API. So the content we're going to be using is going to be up here. So we can add in a couple of different spaces just to clearly differentiate between the content. And then what we can do from here is we need to tie everything together. So first up, this title, it just says play audio. There's nothing special or specific about it. You can adjust the content over here. So in this case, I want to adjust something like you can adjust the position with padding, things of that nature. I'm going to go to the layout tab and I'm going to do a text align to center. Now for the URL, I added this as a page variable. So you can go to variables, page variable, and click to add a new variable. Go back to your user interface and drag over an input field. And when you select it, you can click properties, change the label, which is what appears up top here, and then tie it to your page variable by selecting data and variables, page variable, and then whichever variable you want to use. Lastly, I dragged over a button and just put play. Now, if you would like, we could be a little bit more creative and we could bring over a row, and maybe we want to have a button for play and then a button for stop. So we'll call this one stop. Now we have the basic setup. So let's go ahead and get the functionality. So we're going to go to add logic, and on component tap, you'll see that we have a couple of different options. So you'll see we have get record, record collection, we have all of these different things, and then you'll see we have these processes, and then you'll see we have device. So we don't really have anything here that's going to do what we need specifically. So what we can do is you'll see that we can type in audio, and then we have quite a few different options. I'm sure you can guess what we need. So we're going to start out with play audio and install, and then we're going to go back to the marketplace and we're going to type in audio one more time. You'll see that we have stop. Now there's a ton of different things you can set up here. There's start and resume, start recording, all of these different options. You can do play and pause if you want, so you can look at the general overview here based on which of these you'd prefer to use. But in this case, I just want to use the play and the stop. So when we click play, you'll see that we have in our installed flows, you can just drag this up or down, and we can scroll through and you'll see we have play audio. We can now connect this here, and you'll see when it says play audio, it's going to say audio source and audio playback ID. So you'll see that this will require some kind of a value, so we'll just try a sample value. We'll just type in 1 just to see what happens, and we're going to specify our source. Now this is actually going to be our page variable, variable 1. Basically, it's going to say, okay, we need to play whatever is in this text box. Now for the stop, I'm sure you've guessed, we're going to do the exact same thing. And this is mostly where a lot of these IDs are going to be important. So you'll see the ID, we want it to match. So if you need to, you can dynamically assign the inputs as well as the playback ID, but in this case, I really only need the one. So I have this audio clip. Now, again, you're going to need to go into your app, and then when you go to your URL, you can try to paste in your audio. You have to make sure that the URL includes or goes directly to your audio clip. Meaning, if you paste this into your browser, it either downloads the audio immediately or will immediately start playing it. So the idea here is you can't just add in a URL to a page with audio. It needs to be a link to the audio directly. So when we click play, you can hear through my speakers, it's now playing. And when you click here, you'll see it has the stop function, and now the audio is no longer playing. Now, again, make sure that you're not stealing links or using audio that you don't have the ability to allow users to share. And also, if you're going to allow users to share audio, make sure that you have something set up to where they are not able to share anything without the correct permissions and usage. So I'm not covering the basics of that here. Now, if you want, there are actually tutorials online. You can look into it a little bit further about how to set up the scroller bar. So it would basically look like a slider field. And this would basically be associated with the length of time playing for that song. It can be a little bit complex. I have it in one of the paid apps over at codelessfix.com, but there are plenty of tutorials, or at least one tutorial online, so you can look into more of that. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below, and I'll see you all in the next video.